Hello, math friends, and welcome back. Today we're looking at lesson 4.6, chapter 4, lesson 6, on the slope-intercept form. So please remember to write those at the top of your page in your math notebook before you start. Now you already learned how to find the slope of a line when given two separate points on the line using the slope formula, which you can see right here. There's our slope formula. All right, so let's look at this sample equation because we're going to find the slope when given the equation of a line. So we can, in a particular equation, we can look at it and go, oh, that's the slope. So we're going to find out how to do that right now. So here we have an equation of a line, y equals negative 2x plus 4. Okay, so we're going to rewrite that, y equals negative 2x plus 4, because we're going to do some stuff with it. The first thing we're going to do is find the two intercepts, where it crosses the y-axis, the y-intercept, and where it crosses the x-axis, the x-intercept. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this one here. When x is 0, what is our y value? So let's do that right now. When x is 0, so x equals 0. So we substitute 0 for x. So this becomes y equals negative 2 times 0 plus 4. Now, negative 2 times 0, you know that's just 0 plus 4. So y equals 0 plus 4. Well, anything plus 0 is just that same thing, right? So y equals 4. So when x is 0, y is 4. There you go. Now, let's then take a look at the same equation, but we're going to substitute the y with the 0. So when y equals 0, so we have y equals negative 2x plus 4. Going to substitute 0 for y, so that's 0 equals negative 2x plus 4. We have to do a little more work with this one. First thing we're going to do is undo the addition of the 4. That constant, so we're going to subtract that. And so 0 minus 4 is negative 4, and we have just negative 2x left over here. Now the next step is to undo the multiplication of the coefficient, so we're going to divide by the coefficient, which is negative 2. That's the number that's being multiplied by x. Those two cancel each other out, and x over here, and negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. Negative divided by negative is positive, so x equals 2. So when y equals 0, x is 2. Look at there. So we found the two places where it crosses the x and the y axes. Now, because we have those two slopes, those 2 points, we can find the slope. Now remember, this would be our x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. And our slope formula, so m equals y sub 2 is 0 minus y sub 1, which is 4. X, how did that happen? X sub 2, x sub 1. I don't know how I did that, but I did. Fixed it. All right, now x sub 2 is 2, and x sub 1 is 0. All right, now 0 minus 4 is negative 4, and 2 minus 0 is 2. Now what is negative 4 divided by 2? It's negative 2. So our slope, after using the slope formula, we find that the slope is negative 2. Awesome. Now, the extra information here, the y-intercept when x equals 0, well, we did that over here. When x equals 0, y was 4. Now, this is not a coincidence. Take a look at this. So the slope is negative 2. Look at our equation. There's that same negative 2. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not. That's by design. Our y-intercept is 4, positive 4. Let's look at our equation. Oh, look. That's also positive 4. So when an equation is written in this form, and this form is called the slope-intercept form, we know, just by looking at it, we know what the slope is and we know what the y-intercept is. And slope-intercept form is, for any number, y equals m, remember m is slope, times x, plus the y-intercept, we're going to call that b. Y equals mx plus b. It's one of my favorite equations of all time. Linear equation. So now here's the thing about slope-intercept, and I want you to write this down in your math notebook. Y equals mx plus b. That's the slope-intercept form of an equation. That's super important. M, of course, we know is the slope because that describes how the line moves. So that's why I figure we use m for the slope. And b is the y-intercept. It describes where the graph crosses the y-axis. And if you're going to be graphing a line, b, you could say, is where the line begins on the y-axis. Okay? So it's where it begins. B begins. So let's graph this one right here. So make sure you have graph paper. Y equals negative 3x plus 2. Okay? So this is our slope. This is our y-intercept. But we always start with the y-intercept first. So we do that part first, and then we figure out the slope second. So it starts at positive 2, so we go here up to positive 2 on the y-axis. There's our y-intercept, and it has a slope of negative 3. But remember, slope is rise over run. It's a fraction. And if that's negative 3, remember we have to turn that into a fraction by putting a 1 under it. So it's negative 3 over 1. So what does that mean? Well, it means it goes down 3 and to the right 1. So from this point right here, on our y-intercept, it begins here, and then it goes down 3. 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. And we go the opposite direction, up 2, 3, back 1. So we have to connect all these points and make a straight line. We can graph using the slope-intercept form. Okay, let's try another one. Let's graph y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Again, our slope is right there, and our y-intercept is right there. So our y-intercept is negative 3. So we go down to 3, okay. So that's where it starts. And then we have a slope of 1/2. So that means if m is 1/2, that means it goes up 1 and to the right 2. So from here, where it starts, it goes up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. Down 1, back 2. Down 1, back 2. There we go. And we connect all those dots, and we have a nice straight line that we are graphing. So it's easy to graph a line if you know the slope-intercept formula. Slope-intercept. Oh, here's another one. Oh, this one looks a little bit different because there's no coefficient. What's the slope here? There's no number in front of the x. Remember, the coefficient of a variable, if it's by itself, is 1. So that would be 1 over 1. And here's our y-intercept. It crosses the y-axis at negative 4. So from here we go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And it has a slope of 1. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Da-da-da-da-da. Connect all those dots. And here is our line. So y equals x minus 4. Really easy to graph stuff if you know the slope-intercept form of the line. Now that we know all this, we can easily do the practice work for this. Given the equation, so you only have to do 2 things. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, you got this. Have a great time with it. Don't forget to be awesome, and I'll see you next time.